Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about a profound truth. God's favor is about to skip the line and put you on top. It's a truth not bound by time, not limited by circumstances, and not dictated by the obstacles you may face today. Think about it for a moment. In life, we often feel like we're waiting in line, whether it's for success, for recognition, for breakthrough, or even just for peace. It feels like we're all standing, waiting, hoping that something will change. But what if I told you that God's favor is about to do something extraordinary in your life? What if it's about to bypass all of those delays, all of those hurdles, and place you exactly where you belong? In the physical world, there are lines. You wait your turn, you follow the system, and you hope that eventually you'll get to the front. But in the spiritual realm, there is a power at work that doesn't adhere to the same rules, limitations, or timelines. God's favor can skip the line, leap over obstacles, and place you at the top. That's the kind of favor that I want to remind you of today. The secret is in recognizing that your life right now is not dictated by your past. Your past does not define your future. Your mistakes, your setbacks, the challenges you've faced, none of them can block the favor that is coming your way. The world might tell you that you have to wait for years, that you have to be patient, that you have to earn your place. But God says, I am moving you forward, and I am placing you in positions you never thought possible. So how do you tap into this kind of favor? It starts in your mind. The way you perceive your world, your circumstances, and your own potential is everything. If you're constantly focused on what you don't have or what's missing, you stay stuck in that line, waiting, doubting, hope. But when you begin to shift your thinking, when you start to believe that you are worthy of God's best, that you are destined for greatness, and that something powerful is on the horizon, then the energy around you shifts. You become a magnet for opportunity, for blessings, and for favor. God's favor is not reserved for the perfect or for the ones who have it all together. It's for those who are willing to rise, to stretch beyond their comfort zone, and to trust that the best is yet to come. When you align yourself with that truth, it's like you've stepped into a flow of divine acceleration. What used to take years will happen in months. What used to require endless struggle will be accomplished with ease. What used to be out of reach will suddenly be within your grasp. But there's one more thing I want you to understand. God's favor works not just in the physical world, but in your inner world too. When you embrace a mindset of abundance and possibility, you open the door for miraculous things to happen. It's the shift in your energy, your thoughts, and your emotions that activate that favor. You begin to resonate at a higher frequency, and the universe starts to align with your new vibration. So I want you to take a deep breath. Right now, feel it. In this very moment, you are stepping out of the line. You are stepping into a season where everything that once seemed impossible is now within reach. You are being set up for something greater than you've ever imagined. God's favor is not just coming, it's already here. It's time to rise up and walk in the fullness of that blessing, knowing that your place at the top is already secured. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and remember, God is about to skip the line and put you exactly where you belong. God's favor transcends time and circumstances. It operates on a level that defies human understanding, going beyond the limitations of our experiences and the constraints of the physical world. When we think about favor, we often think of things that happen within a certain timeline or according to specific conditions. Maybe through hard work, waiting for the right opportunity, or meeting the right person at the right moment. But God's favor doesn't follow those rules. It doesn't wait for the perfect timing or require you to meet every condition before it shows up in your life. In our world, we live by time, by schedules, and by a sense of order that we believe must be followed. We see things happen step by step, with each action leading to a consequence, with every effort gradually bearing fruit. This structure can make us feel like we're in control, but it also limits our thinking about what's possible. We begin to believe that things will happen only if we follow the prescribed order, work hard, wait, and earn our rewards. But God's favor doesn't work this way. It's not bound by time. It doesn't need a sequence of events to unfold. When God's favor touches your life, it bypasses everything you thought you knew about how success is achieved. You don't have to wait for a certain moment to see change. You don't have to follow a linear path to get where you need to be. God's favor has the ability to fast-track your progress, leap over every obstacle, and bring you to a place of success and fulfillment faster than you could have imagined. This kind of favor doesn't follow the ordinary rules of timing. Instead, it shows up exactly when you need it, and in ways that you might not expect. Life often feels like waiting in line for success, recognition, or opportunities. We stand in line, patiently waiting for our turn, believing that progress must happen in a certain order. In this line, we think we have to put in a certain amount of time, effort, and sacrifice before we get what we desire. We look around and see others moving ahead of us, and we start to question whether we will ever reach the front. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything is a matter of luck or timing, that we can only move forward if the conditions are just right. This creates a feeling of being stuck, as if we're waiting for something outside of our control to change before we can take the next step. But what if the line you're waiting in doesn't define your future? What if the path you're on right now, with all its delays and setbacks, is not the way things have to unfold? We often forget that life is not a straight line. It's not a system of waiting and hoping for a moment of breakthrough. While it may seem like you're standing still, what if the universe is working in ways you cannot see, preparing the perfect opportunities, aligning everything for you to move forward in a way you didn't expect? We focus so much on the line, on the waiting, that we overlook the possibility of divine intervention. We fail to realize that there may be moments in life when something beyond our understanding steps in and makes the impossible possible, taking us out of the line and placing us exactly where we are meant to be. God's favor can bypass obstacles and put you at the top. Life is full of challenges, roadblocks, and moments where progress seems impossible. We all encounter barriers, whether they are external like financial struggles or internal like self-doubt or fear. These obstacles often make us feel stuck, as if there's no way forward. The more we try to push past these barriers, the harder they seem to get, and we begin to believe that success is simply out of our reach. We see others overcoming challenges with ease, and we wonder why it feels so much harder for us. But God's favor works in ways that go beyond human understanding. It doesn't matter how high the mountain is or how deep the valley might be. When God's favor is on your life, the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to fade. Doors that were once closed swing wide open. Problems that felt like permanent roadblocks become temporary hurdles easily crossed. This is the kind of favor that doesn't just help you get by, but lifts you up, sets you apart, and places you in positions you once thought impossible. God's favor doesn't ask for permission to work within the confines of limitations. It moves through them. It doesn't matter how many times you've been turned down, overlooked, or told a no. God's favor has the power to break through every no and turn it into a yes. It can shift circumstances, change the trajectory of your life, and put you exactly where you need to be at the exact moment it's needed. This is not a favor earned by effort alone, but one that transcends effort, timing, and expectation. It's the kind of favor that works miracles in your life, lifting you from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Your past does not define your future. Often we carry the weight of our past with us, believing that the mistakes, failures, and struggles we've endured have set the course for our future. We look back at the things we've done or the opportunities we missed, and we think that because we've fallen short before, we will always be behind. It's easy to let the past dictate how we move forward, shaping our mindset and limiting our possibilities. We start to believe that our past mistakes are like chains, holding us back from reaching the success and fulfillment we long for. But the truth is that the past holds no power over your future unless you allow it to. Your future is not determined by the mistakes you made, the things you didn't achieve, or the regrets you carry. Your future is shaped by the choices you make today, the mindset you adopt right now, and the belief you have in what is possible for you. The past is simply a chapter, not the entire story. It doesn't matter what you've been through or how many times you've fallen. What matters is how you rise. When you start to see your life as a blank slate, free from the limitations of what has happened before, you open yourself up to the incredible potential that lies ahead. You can choose to release the weight of past disappointments and embrace the possibility of new beginnings. It's not about forgetting the past. It's about not letting it have control over your present or your future. Every new day is an opportunity for transformation, growth, and the manifestation of the life you've always dreamed of. Belief in your worth activates God's favor. So often we struggle with self-doubt, questioning whether we are truly deserving of success, happiness, or the blessings that others seem to receive effortlessly. We compare ourselves to those around us, thinking they are more qualified, more capable, or more deserving. We let feelings of inadequacy and insecurity creep in, telling ourselves that we're not good enough to receive the things we desire. But the truth is that our worth is not defined by our imperfections, our mistakes, or the way we see ourselves in comparison to others. When you believe in your inherent worth, you begin to open the door for God's favor to enter your life in ways you never imagined. It's not about being perfect or meeting some unrealistic standard. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of the blessings, opportunities, and abundance that are meant for you. When you fully embrace your value, regardless of the struggles you've faced or the challenges you've yet to overcome, you align yourself with the favor that is already available to you. This belief in your worth doesn't just change your mindset. It shifts your energy. It moves you from a place of scarcity, fear, and doubt to a place of abundance, confidence, and trust. When you know that you are worthy, your actions begin to reflect that belief. You take bolder steps, make more empowered decisions, and show up for life in a way that invites opportunities and blessings to flow your way. You start to attract the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities because you no longer question whether you deserve them. The truth is, God's favor is not reserved for a select few. It's available to everyone who believes in their worth and is willing to step into it. Shifting your mindset unlocks divine acceleration. The way we perceive the world, our circumstances, and our potential has an immense impact on the speed at which we experience progress. For many of us, the path to success often feels slow and filled with obstacles. We may look at our lives and think that change is far off, or that our dreams are too big to attain. But what if the key to unlocking rapid transformation lies not in working harder or waiting for the right timing, but in changing the way we think about our lives? When we begin to shift our mindset, we begin to tap into a deeper, more powerful force that accelerates our growth. It's about moving away from limited thinking, where we believe that we're stuck in a situation or that our past defines our future, and embracing a mindset of possibility and expansion. When you start to see yourself as capable of achieving greatness, when you believe that you are worthy of extraordinary things, you begin to align yourself with a higher frequency of success. Your thoughts shape your reality, and by changing the way you think, you change the trajectory of your life. This shift in mindset is not just about being positive or optimistic. It's about activating a deeper connection with your inner power and the divine. It's about trusting that the universe or God has a plan for you that is bigger than anything you can imagine. Once you start to truly believe that your success is inevitable, that breakthroughs are on their way, you create an energetic alignment that speeds up the process. You begin to take inspired actions, opportunities start to show up in unexpected places, and things begin to fall into place with divine timing. When your mindset shifts, divine acceleration kicks in, bringing everything you've been working toward closer, faster, and with more ease. God's favor isn't for the perfect, but for the willing. It's easy to believe that only those who have it all together, who are flawless in their actions and decisions, are deserving of blessings and success. We often think that God's favor comes to those who have earned it through perfection, who follow every rule, or who never make mistakes. But the truth is that perfection is not a requirement for receiving God's favor. In fact, it's the willingness to receive it, the openness to transformation, and the faith that God can work in our lives regardless of our imperfections that truly invites favor. God's favor does not discriminate based on our achievements or failures. It's not about being flawless or living a life without mistakes. It's about being willing to receive grace, to be guided, and to trust in something greater than ourselves. Everyone, no matter their past, their shortcomings, or their failures, is eligible for God's favor if they are willing to embrace it. It's about having a heart that is open to divine possibilities, a spirit that is willing to grow, and a mindset that believes in the potential for change and elevation. When you embrace the idea that you don't have to be perfect to receive blessings, you allow yourself to let go of the guilt, shame, and fear that hold you back. You begin to walk in the truth that God's favor is not about your performance, but about His love and grace. The willingness to receive God's favor opens doors, heals wounds, and propels you forward, not because of your perfection, but because of your heart's openness to His guidance and transformation. This is what truly invites God's blessings into your life. The way you perceive your world, your circumstances, and your own potential is everything. Our minds are incredibly powerful, shaping how we approach life, how we react to challenges, and how we see opportunities. If you constantly view your life through a lens of limitation, focusing on what's missing or what's not going right, then you will likely continue to experience a reality that reflects those thoughts. The world around you can often feel heavy, filled with obstacles and barriers, when your mindset is trapped in scarcity. But when you begin to shift your perception, when you start to see the abundance, the possibilities, and the potential that exists in every situation, your entire experience of life changes. It's not about denying the difficulties you face, but rather about changing how you respond to them. When you shift your perception, you stop seeing setbacks as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You stop looking at challenges as barriers to your success and begin seeing them as stepping stones on the way to your breakthrough. The more you can align your thoughts with positivity and possibility, the more you will attract the circumstances that support your highest potential. Your perception also influences how you view yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy or incapable, you'll continue to hold yourself back. But when you recognize the inherent value and power within you, your self-image transforms. You begin to act with confidence, take risks, and step into opportunities that once seemed out of reach. When you change how you perceive your potential, you unlock the ability to achieve what you once thought impossible. The world around you doesn't necessarily change, but your ability to navigate it, create new paths, and attract opportunities expands. A mindset of abundance attracts opportunities. When you operate from a mindset of scarcity, you view the world as limited. There's only so much success, so much wealth, so much love, and so many opportunities to go around. This kind of thinking holds you back, causing you to settle for less, to feel that you must compete for what's available, and to limit your own potential. You begin to believe that there's not enough to go around, which keeps you in a cycle of fear, doubt, and limitation. But when you adopt a mindset of abundance, you open yourself to a completely different reality, one where opportunities seem limitless and success feels inevitable. An abundant mindset shifts your perception. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you start to see everything you have as a resource to build upon. You begin to view challenges as opportunities for growth, setbacks as lessons, and other people's success as inspiration rather than competition. When you see the world as abundant, you understand that success isn't a zero-sum game. Just because someone else is thriving doesn't mean there's less for you. In fact, their success can be a sign that more is available, that the universe is abundant, that your own success is just waiting to unfold. When you align your thoughts with abundance, you naturally begin to attract opportunities. The energy you project influences what comes. People, circumstances, and even ideas that align with your abundant mindset begin to flow into your life. Your confidence grows, and you start to see doors opening that you once thought were closed. Opportunities come to you effortlessly because you've shifted your energy to match the frequency of abundance. Trust the process. God's favor is already here. In life, we often find ourselves anxious about the timing of our dreams, goals, and aspirations. We look around and see others achieving what we desire, and we question why it hasn't happened for us yet. We feel the weight of waiting, the uncertainty, and the doubt that come with not seeing immediate results. But what if the process, the waiting, the work, the unfolding, was all part of a divine plan that is already in motion? What if the favor we're seeking is not something that will come in the future, but something that is already here, waiting for us to step into it? Trusting the process means having faith that things are happening behind the scenes, even when we don't see them. It's knowing that everything is aligning perfectly, even if we can't perceive it in the moment. Sometimes we're so focused on the outcome that we forget the value of the journey itself. The lessons we're learning, the growth we're experiencing, and the ways we're being prepared for the blessings that are to come. God's favor isn't always about instantaneous results. It's about the unfolding of our lives in ways that might not make sense at first, but that will lead us exactly where we need to go. Trusting the process requires patience, but more than that, it requires belief in the greater plan. It's about knowing that God's favor is already working in your life, even when it's not immediately obvious. The struggles, the waiting, and the challenges are all part of the plan to get you to where you need to be. When you trust the process, you allow God's favor to work through you and in you, bringing everything you've been working toward into fruition in its perfect time.